discussion video. This is episode 6 of Radiant Office, and me and Sam, my name is Morgan, and that is Sam, who's over there not talking, and we are going to be once again talking about Radiant Office. Now, this episode starts off, episode 5 ended with Hwe-Hyun falling out of Woo-jin's closet because of the fact that Hwe-Hyun was basically hired to clean Woo-jin's house without Woo-jin really knowing that she was cleaning his house. And so it was quite really shocking the fact that Woo-jin, or that Hwe-Hyun was in Woo-jin's house. And I love the fact that kind of like Woo-jin screamed like a girl the minute that Hwe-Hyun crawled out of the closet. But once they're like both calm, they're both like relaxed. They basically sit down and I think they have tea or something like that. And Hwan basically explains that she didn't know that it was Woojin's house, and that if she knew that it was his house, that she would, or she wouldn't have taken the job. And of course, Woojin basically says like, well, wouldn't couldn't you find a better job? So she wouldn't like have to clean houses and stuff like that. And she was like, well, if I wasn't fired, then like I would have been able to get a better job, obviously. And she also, since she's like not his employee, since she has no way of like really getting fired, or not fired, yeah, fired, because obviously she's not gonna want to clean his house anymore. And since she knows who this guy is, she basically tells him like the way that she's been feeling. And she tells him like how she's like mad at him for treating them different. She's like I don't know, what else did she yell at him about, Sam?
Um, I can't really remember 100%, but she basically goes off saying like life is unfair, and because life is unfair, that is unfair, and like so 100% of her situation isn't 100% her fault, and he can't blame her for everything that's happened in her life, and he can't blame her for the situation she's in 100% because like he kind of put her in her position now, so like outside factors sometimes cause us to be put into situations.
Yeah, exactly. No,
But then Woojin's like, well, here's an opportunity. And he ends up showing her the picture of the doctor,
mm, mm.
trying to like find out how she knows him. And when she's like, oh, well, he's just the doctor, which, you know what? You know what's going through her mind? Not, he's just the doctor. He's my sugar, what is it,
he's
sugar daddy or whatever?
he's
Like,
my crush. Cause
he's my
she,
crush.
yeah,
So what? Like he's just a doctor, and that's it. And like kind of dispels everything he was
yeah,
thinking of.
because like she's like because he asked her how they met and stuff like that, and she's like, well, I met him at the hospital. And she doesn't really let it out that she tried committing suicide, because like that's not something you really want to tell people about.
Right.
Um, and then so I really like the fact that Awuja brings up the fact that he saw the contract, and that she knows that it wasn't her that messed up. It was Gina's, basically.
Right.
And so she gets rehired. And I love the fact that in the end of this, when she's leaving his house, she's like dancing down the street and he's like smiling at her. And I'm like, you are starting to fall in love with her even
I
more.
know that look. Oh, I loved it. I was like, I get way too into these shows. Okay, let's just be perfectly honest. I cry and laugh and squeal, and you guys should like. I really should Snapchat react like full reactions because I was just like squealing the entire time. I'm like, he thinks she's adorable because she is, and he's adorable, and they're gonna fall in love and make babies. And I'm sorry.
Sam is me during the Infinite music video. Um,
I'm
um,
sorry. I just went on like a weird giggle rant. Okay, so Woojin, now knowing what the frackety frack has happened, has called Gina into the office so she can take responsibility for her actions. So,
yeah, yeah. And of course, like, she makes up like these excuses that like that she's like has so much work on her, that it wasn't her fault, and that um you know that now he's like mad at her because he's like it was like basically told her like he can't trust her and that it was not fair for Hwe-Hyun to get fired. And so thankfully enough, she didn't get fired. Like Gina didn't get fired, but she of course was like very upset the fact that she got yelled at. And of course she apologized. I mean, I like the fact that she did apologize to Hwe-Hyun and kind of said it in her own way that she was like sorry for getting her fired and stuff like that,
Right.
which I know me, I guess that says a lot about Gina's character, where she's pretty much like, she seems like she's really mean and really
Hmm.
scary, but in reality, she just wants to protect her job. And, she didn't tell Hwan to take the blame for her, nor did she really tell Kai-tek to take the blame for her either.
Right. So none of that whole situation's kind of like wrapped up in its nice little bow for now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everything's over yet. They have mandatory volunteer work. Let's think about that phrase for a second. Mandatory volunteer work. Because I'm like, no, that's not volunteering. That's being voluntold.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and can we just talk about the pink vests?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Why?
Yeah.
That was unnecessary. They could have picked a different color, and those things were just gaudy. Okay, I'm not complaining about the color. I'm just complaining about the vest on its own. Like that was just gaudy.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Also, the fact that I like the fact that the whole reason why they're volunteering too is because Woo-jin went to the doctor and was basically trying to like soap out the doctor and see how he knew the contractors and stuff like that. And he made up an excuse that he wanted to do volunteer work and stuff like that. And he volunteered this whole section, I guess. I don't want to say company because
Hmm.
like during the group photo, it did not look like the whole company. Um, but so yeah, I definitely think it's funny. There's one guy, I forgot his name. What was his name? Um,
Mm.
he
Names. You know, I could barely keep the main cast straight. Okay.
he was like the one guy I always forget. He's like in the office. He's like, I'll once again I'll put his picture on the screen. But I like the fact that he put on the vest and he's like, this vest is too tiny. What the hell? I can't volunteer. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like he was trying to make up all these excuses, and also on top of that, Manager Park was trying to get out of volunteering to go play golf too. So we're all trying to get out of like get out.
Nobody wants to. You know what? I like volunteering, but I'm weird. Most people don't like volunteering.
I love volunteering.
Um, okay, most people like in K-dramas don't like volunteering,
Yeah.
apparently. But they all have to go and there's no getting out of it, so they have to get on this bus to go volunteer, which we
Also,
never we never really end up finding out what they're
well,
volunteering for.
also before you start this, before we actually get into the volunteering stuff, I also do want to say that uh, the doctor did tell Woo-jin that they did meet. Like how him and Hwan or Hoya or I want to keep calling her Hoya because that's Hoya's real name.
Howam
Hoan.
and
Yeah, I know, I
Howam.
know, I know, but Hoya's real name is Hoan. So whenever I say
Oh,
Hoan, I'm always thinking of Hoya, so I get their names mixed up because I'm always like Hoya. No, oh no, not. Um,
Bad Morgan.
yes, but we find out that he tells the Woojen that this part was so creepy about the doctor that he basically told Woojen that him and Ho-won have this really unique bond because they met in the hospital, but he doesn't like tell him how they met, but he's like she doesn't really know how we met, but we met in the hospital like and we have a very special bond. Like that
Mhm.
is so creepy. Like that scene alone creeped me out. And the
You
fact
know
that
what? I think the doctor knows or like has a feeling that Woojin's going to be competition and he's trying to shut the competition down, okay?
mhm.
Like I think he knows because I think he's seen how Woojin has started to look at Hoan and because the doctor's not stupid, okay? He's very well aware of what's going on around him and I think he knows that Woojin's starting to like have some feelings for her,
Yes.
or if he's not 100% aware, he has feelings for her, and so he's just trying to shut down any competition to begin with.
Yeah. And then of course, there was this so oh, that's his name, Young Jae. sorry, the guy who I always forget his name is Young Jae. He basically introduces Hwan to this health insurance who is part of the company, and she's in charge of the employees' health insurance. And there she basically tells Hwan how the health insurance like world works. And she basically puts up this projector, which is basically the drama from ruler of your own world, and it also has, surprisingly or not, do you remember the I don't know if you realize this, Sam, the guy who was in Missing Nine? He was Soo-hee's brother, the detective. I'm forgetting his name. Oh, Taeyong. That's him. That's his drama. He was in that. Like, that's the guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So basically she tells him this the story about how he was like a fighter, and he was into like beating people up, whatever. And then he found out he had cancer, and that he was gonna die because his dad's too poor, he didn't want to ask money from his parents. And but with health insurance, he was able to get the treatment that he needed, and he eventually got married. He eventually became a prosecutor, and got married and had two kids.
Okay, are you? I felt like this was very shady.
Uh-huh.
I felt like the whole thing was like friggin' she was gonna end up signing her life away kind of deal. Um, and I mean the whole health insurance thing, I think through this kind of just became a metaphor for like her life and like the unexpected showing up and everything, talking about the cancer and whatnot. But at the same time, I was like, this is really shady. And I'm kind of scared if
Yeah,
she
yeah,
signs that
yeah.
contract. I did not like the sales lady or anything like that. I was like, I don't know. She creeped me out a little bit.
And
She
also
was a little too pushy.
yeah, I think so too. And the fact that she also said that like um after she can't visit the hospital or be sick or anything within the first 3 months after signing the papers. And but if she, after that, if she did get sick, that all medical bills would get paid. I just find it really sketchy. Why is health insurance supposed to be something sketchy? I
Right.
don't understand that. It's not like, I mean, maybe she's a loan shark. I don't know. I just find that whole situation sketchy and weird. And I don't I don't know in South Korea. I don't know insurance and stuff like that, but I know in the States that you have to have insurance or you have to pay a fine. And usually insurance isn't that sketchy of being like,
No, they just rip you off left and right.
they just rip you off a lot of money. Like a lot of money. Sam and me know. Sam knows more than me.
Yeah,
But
because apparently the doctors and I have been best friends lately. Because
mm,
I didn't just, because when I was sick way back when, it didn't just end with sickness. It continued on for the last month, and it's finally coming to the end. But I just got my hospital bill, and I kind of,
wanna cry?
yeah, it was 4 digits.
Ugh, no, yuck. Ugh, we're not gonna ugh. Thank God. This is why like
Yeah.
I don't go outside at all because I'm trying not to get sick at all.
I was gonna
No.
say I didn't go outside. Someone gave it to me, and then, nah, my body decided to run with it.
It sounds like we're
Um,
just talking about herpes.
Okay, so do you want to know what I'm talking about? I freaking got a chest, or like an upper respiratory sinus infection, whatever. It's not to get too TMI, but okay, so I had an upper respiratory sinus infection. So what ended up happening was is that in my left ear, there's like little canals in your ear, and there are like little tubes, and when fluid gets into it, it causes you to lose balance, which is called vertigo. And I had vertigo, and I ended up slamming myself into a wall, which sent me into a panic attack, which sent me to the hospital. And because I had the inflammation, I got in the fluid in my ear and ended up getting an infection, and now I have an ear infection. Okay, it's not fucking herpes.
It's herpes. Ugh.
Okay, so they're on the bus, they're going to volunteer, and Ho-Won, surprising, ends up sitting next to Woo-Jin.
Mm,
Who saw that coming?
everyone and their mother.
Everybody.
Yes. And then, of course, there is this accident that happens. I have a confession to make. I accidentally pressed the power button on my computer, which turned off my Skype. So hopefully, we are going to be doing this in
Fairly
the right.
close to
Yeah.
where we were before.
So I remember just basically talking about how they're in the car or the bus together, and all of a sudden a car pulls out in front of the bus, and that makes the bus lose control. And as this is happening, Gina before had gotten out of her seat to get her lipstick. And so the car is, I mean, the bus is like going back and forth, trying to, get more balance, or I don't know. I don't know. Just
I
trying
don't know
to,
what the bus driver was doing because he seemed like he was perfectly well on all wheels and could just stop. But no, we're gonna fling this thing everywhere so
yeah,
everyone and their brother gets hurt.
yes. So Kai Tak sees this, and Kai Tak like runs and basically protects Gina from getting her head smacked around. Ho-Won, or not Ho-Won, K-Dong's character, or King Ho's character, or King Hong, sorry, I can't think. King Hong was basically screaming for his mom. And then the bus stops, and as it stops, we find out that Woo-jin was doing the mom grab, where he puts his hand in front of Ho-Won to basically hold her still.
Hmm.
And then of course we go to the hospital where everyone and their mother seems to be injured because um, no one of course was wearing like their seat belts and stuff like that.
So kids, wear your seatbelts,
Exactly, wear your
especially if
seatbelts.
you're in K-drama land.
K-drama land, just put a bubble around you. Don't meet any mother-in-laws,
CEOs.
CEOs, or anything like
Actually, no.
that.
It depends on the CEO. You might fall in love with them, but not always.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So then we go back to the hospital, and I like the fact that Woojin was really cute. Woojin was like really cute talking to her. He's like, "Oh, are you okay?" He kind of like yells at her a little bit for like not wearing a seatbelt and stuff like that. So you can definitely tell he's definitely liking her a lot more. Oh, and also on the bus, she kind of like asks him about that giant picture of him by the window and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh no, it was a goodbye gift. It was a goodbye gift." And like,
Yeah.
it's such a cute, like they're so cute together. I love it. Um, but back at the hospital, as she's getting help, everyone else is getting help and stuff like that. And he wants Ho-Won to stay and to do some tests, but she doesn't want her illness figured out. And so she lies and she says she's fine, she's fine. And then when he turns around, Woojin turns around to look at Young Jae, she's gone, like she's completely gone. And she leaves the hospital and she goes to the bus station. But of course, at the bus station, her phone dies. She has no money. She has nowhere to call anyone to pick her up to go back to Seoul. And so instead, she goes up to a couple of passengers for a bus fare, and everyone was completely rude to her.
You know what? She was a creeper, okay? My phone's dead and I need to get back to Seoul. Can you give me money? Like, I would probably be shrugging her off too. Let's just be honest. I'd be like, you are a weirdo,
Yeah,
okay?
I would actually, I wouldn't give her money. I would just buy her a ticket. Um, but So Woojin finds her, and Woojin's like, you're using our company to get money, and she's like, no, no, I lost you, and she's like about to cry, and so he buys her a ticket to go home, but instead of going home, he decides to take her along to this to basically where he grew up, which is
Hmm.
really cute. Also, before we talk about her going to his house, we also we see Kai Tak. Kai Tak is like he's I don't know, his side looks like to be bothering him. Maybe he has a couple of bruised ribs or something like that. And we see Gina being treated. She's being treated for like a cut on her leg, and she thanks him for for not for saving her basically. And I can see that she's very what's the word, sincere about it. But the
Right.
thing that makes me more upset is the fact that she I don't know. She views him as an idiot, and I hate that because obviously he's not idiot.
Hmm.
And I definitely think like this is the start of her seeing him in a new light and stuff like that. So Woojin and Hwan they go to get some. He tells Hwan they're gonna go get something to eat. Um, and as they're walking there's all these cherry blossoms, and it's such a cute thing and stuff like that. And
It's so pretty
it is
too.
so pretty. And she also tells Woojin also asks her why she's so upset for her, if she's upset for her weekend being ruined. And she basically is like, oh, well, I'm upset because I wanted to volunteer. And, Woojin's just kind of confused. And she said that, like, she said that, when the bus was serving like that, that she felt like, I don't know, for some reason she felt like relaxed, which sounds kind of fucking really weird. Um, but she
Well,
said
I mean,
that,
she's, I think, I don't think she's necessarily coming to terms, but like she's already accepted that she's going to die.
mm,
And like she thinks the disease is going to take her, but it looks like this bus crash is going to take her. So the
yeah,
irony in it is that like
it's
she was
funny.
going to die anyway, and now she felt like she was going to die sooner than she was supposed to. And how
Yeah,
ironic is that?
yeah. And then of course she talks about how in the spring it's hard for job seekers because during employment, like deployment deployee recruitment season, it's like it can be really hard, and sometimes you can feel lost when you get rejected. And she tells him that she promised herself that she'd go see cherry blossoms if she got a job, and because she couldn't see them last year. And Woojin decides, once again, he decides to take her to his house. And while she's walking, there's a bunch of cherry blossoms there, which is so cute. I think cherry blossoms are so beautiful. There's a bunch of cherry blossoms in Washington D.C. and there's an interesting story around them too, because I think it was the Japanese ambassador, no, Japan's ambassador, or the Japanese sent them over. And the first time they sent them over, there were worms in them, and we had to torch them. And then they sent them over again, and that's how we have cherry blossoms in Washington D.C. It was a very interesting story. Actually, one of my subscribers told me about it, and I found it really interesting.
And we actually, Northern Vermont has a cherry blossom festival each year too, which I
Yeah.
found out because I had someone ask me if we had cherry blossoms, and I knew we did, but I didn't know like regionally where we
Mm-hmm.
had them because I know they bloom so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Burlington has a cherry blossom festival, or Montpelier, yeah, our capital.
Are you sure? Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's tons. Well, it's not really a festival, but it's more of a. They have tons of cherry blossoms there and stuff like that down by the Capitol Road. We find Woojin's father, and Woojin's father decides to make food for them, and it's really cute because we do find out that Woojin's mother. I don't know what happened to his mom. Did his mom pass away?
yeah,
Like,
I think that was kind of the story is that his mom passed away, and so like it's just him and his dad. And I love that his dad is like the complete opposite of him,
yeah, how
and like
he's
picks on him the whole time for the fact that he's the complete opposite of him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And I almost cried when Hwe-Hyun tried the food and she like started like choking up because it reminded her of her father. And then I think how Woojin's father was like, well, I used to have to make food for 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 Woojin after his mother died, and Hwan was basically like, yeah, my father would make food like this every day until she got home from school until he passed away. And I
Mhm.
definitely think that was a kind of another eye opener to Woojin. Was like they have that connection of losing a parent, which is
Right.
very sad. Oh my God, but I thought it was the cutest thing ever when Woojin was washing dishes and he tells Hwan to go look at the flowers, and Hwan was like, but I should help you. But then she sees that his slippers, like they're like the blue slippers that Ajimas wear,
Hmm.
and like it's hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. And she's like, yeah, but you look good in anything. And I was like, oh, you're starting to like him too. Hwan, I see that. I see that. Um,
His ego got boosted a little bit there too, so.
Yes, it did. Oh, and then also, I like the fact that Woojin's dad told her that it must be hard working for his son since his son is very like uptight, and like even his dad bashes on him. Even his dad's like, yeah, he must be really hard to work with. And of course, of course, Hwan was like, no, 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 he's okay, okay. And his dad basically says like that Woojin's problem was the fact that he always thinks he's right, and which can always, or he's always right, which can annoy people. And he tells Hwan that to instead of just seeing that part of him just always being right and kind of Misami-ish, just please remember that Woojin went through a hard time with his mother passing away and having to go through schools and stuff like that, and that he actually had to work a lot of part-time jobs or that wait, did the that Woojin or no, I think no, the father worked many part-time jobs that so his son wouldn't feel like poor or uneasy or anything like that. So I
Mm,
really love the dad, and I love the fact that we get to know a little bit more about Woo-jin's past and stuff like that.
right. So, um, I mean, it was a nice kind of background story to Woojins. You can kind of appreciate. I think Ho-won, even on the bus on the way home, appreciates like she sees where he comes from now. He's not this privileged brat that she thought he was. Um, and now like things are being put into perspective. Like he knows about the death of her parent and she knows about the death of his parent, and so it's like, okay, we're not that different from each other, and now there's like not necessarily a level playing field, but there's character development and a little bit of more of appreciation for the other person, which is really nice.
Yeah. And then, oh my God. So on the way back, they take the bus together and they decide he was going to get her a cab for herself. And she's like, no, we live in the same, I live right by you. So just drop me off where you live. And I think it was like, she just didn't want to take his money. She didn't want him to spend any more money on her. So they go on a cab together and they get dropped off together. And as she's walking away, a cat meows and he like almost died. Like he like jumped out of no, like he jumped so hard.
He's a
She was so
freaking
scared.
scaredy
He's
cat.
like, you think that he's so cocky and he's like, oh man, but in reality, a cat meows and he's like, holy shit, what's that? Oh my god, no, I'm gonna die. Run, run. Um, and so I think that's pretty funny. Also, Hwan decides that she's not gonna give up and she's gonna work hard to live her life. So she tears up the insurance paperwork, and on top of that, I'm pretty sure. On top of that, Woojin is also like he's looking at the plants because Hoan planted all these plants for him and cups and stuff like that, and Woojin's looking at them, and I can you can definitely tell he's falling in love with her. He's like starting to like her a little bit more and more and more.
Mm.
So the next day comes, and a lot of people are out because of the car crash. Gina's out, Youngjae's out, Jaemin's out, and of course Sung Kai, how do you say her name, Sam? Sung
Seok-young.
Seok-jin decides to come in even though she has an injured arm, and I really think that how cute Kang-ho is with her, the fact that Kang-ho saw that she was typing and that she had her arm like bandaged up, and he was like, I can do that for you, do you want me to type for you? I'm a fast typer. And she's like, no, no, it's okay, it's okay. And I definitely can see that she's starting to kind of like view him as a person rather than
Right,
a contractor, which I think is very cute. I love that. I just want them together. What do you
right. You know what? Everybody's kind of coupling up, and I'm very happy. And outside of, like, I don't know how much of a second lead we're gonna have with the doctor, but like, that's the only potential second lead right now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know if he's actually gonna become the second lead. So it's kind of nice to like, they're all coupling up, so they're all gonna have their issues and everything, and it's not just going to be fully centered around Woojin and Ho-won's relationship. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And then we find out that, well, we don't find out, but so since not a lot of people are there, they go to eat at the cafeteria, and of course, Woojin sits down with them, and you can literally hear in the drama, Ho-won's heart beating fast, and I'm
Mm.
like, ooh, girl, you like, you like him.
You know what? I'm really sad we didn't get like one of her little animations because I think when we started this, we were talking
Oh,
about how the animations and stuff were really fun to watch,
yeah,
and they kind of stopped.
yeah, they're getting lazy because I feel like that with a lot of dramas where they start with cool animations and then towards like the end of the drama they just stop doing them because they don't have time, or I don't know. It just sucks because like that makes me love the drama. Like it was in Surplus Princess where it starts off with a lot of cute animations and stuff like that, and then it just like you lost everything, and like towards the end of the series, which sucks.
But I
But
wanted an animation there or
yeah, me too.
something.
That'd be really cute.
But so we hear her heart, and I'm just like, oh. And then Woojin just asked like Woojin, and I was like, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and then we also find out that they are launching a new catalog for the company. That's an important thing to mention here because in the next episode we'll talk more about it. And that, they're going to be launching new products and stuff like that, so it's going to be busy in the office in the upcoming days. And then Homan delivers a box in the office, and she finds a business suit inside and a letter from her brother Hoj, basically saying that he knew that if he sent her money that she would send it back, and he tells her not to worry about him or her mom, and tells her that he's really proud of her, and she literally can't help but cry because
Hmm.
like cry so hard, and she can't even pick up the phone call from him because she's crying so hard of what happened. And so she decides to sign the insurance paperwork because she knows that when she dies, or if she dies, her family will receive a large payout,
Hmm.
and she's like determined to take care of her family even though she's gone, which I
Right.
think says a lot about her character and stuff like that. But
So then, so yeah, no. I mean, at least now, like, okay, she's gonna take care of her family, which is really, really nice. I still feel creepy about the freaking health insurance. Something doesn't feel right about it
agree.
at all. But I lost my spot.
Okay,
Notes,
so
people, notes.
Kai
They're
Kai
they're they are a life source.
Yes. So Kai-Tak goes to see Gina because he's worried about
Yep.
her because he thinks that she didn't come home, she didn't go to work, and of course he sees Jamin and her getting out the car together, and oh, it broke his heart. It broke his heart.
You know what? Good. You know what? I think she needs to be the one chasing after him now. And so this, his heart breaking, like, I don't mean good that his heart's breaking, but this is what he needs to throw her away for right now. And
Yeah.
she needs to see what she
And
lost.
well, it really broke my heart the fact that he was like, I was just coming here to see you're okay. And he goes to leave, and then he decides to give her that picture and his wallet back, saying that he can't throw it out. And I think she was a little bit heartbroken too. Like, do you, Sam? Like,
I do. And you know what? The way she broke up with him was so cold-hearted
mm, yeah,
that I think this is going to be good for them, is that like um she broke up with him knowing he would pine after her,
mm,
but him handing the picture back is him kind of severing the relationship a little bit. And I think that hurt even more than her just breaking up with him, because if she wants to, she can always go back to him. Like, she knew before that point that he would take her back at any time, and now this is kind of like, we're done. This is it. I'm not coming back after you. Like, the relationship is over. And it's him accepting the break, and now I think like she can't accept it as much.
yeah, yeah. No, I completely agree. And also, oh my god, so we get this scene where Woojin is in the bookstore, and we find out that, is it this episode? I don't remember. Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
is
this
this
episode.
episode. The doctor wrote a book.
Book and put them in it, and I'm like,
Okay,
when
can
did
we
you?
talk about HIPAA violations? I don't know if Korea has HIPAA violations, but that really bothered
Yeah,
me.
but can we also just talk about the fact that I'm like, excuse me, you decided to publish a book in 2 days?
I know the book came
What?
out so fast.
And like, how did he know that it was about them? Did he use their name? I don't know. I didn't, and
Well, he
maybe he,
saw the picture of the doctor.
yeah, yeah, and he kind of put it together.
And he kind of like, with everything that's kind of happened up to this point, he kind of he's not stupid. He put it together pretty fast.
Yeah.
And
Um,
so he goes to Ho-Wan to try and confront her about it.
mhm.
And of course, he gets no answers because she freaking passes out right there.
Yes, I was so pissed at that. Like when the episode ended, I was like, "You cannot end this episode here." No, 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 no. I was very upset the fact that it ended there. But Sam, like, did you like The Office? I mean, not The Office. Oh God, did you like? Did you like this episode?
I did. I like the character developments. I can see the relationship developments, both the good and the bad, and the
Hmm.
good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
I like that Woojin and Hoan have. I feel like they have a new appreciation for each other and where they've come from.
Hmm.
And because they kind of had this time to spend with each other, it's kind of nice to see them start making connections
Hmm.
rather than just having the office. Now they have the accident, which they can both not necessarily relate to, but like something they were both a part of. And then her meeting the father, and the father seemed to get along really well with her, and the death of the parents and everything. I mean, there's more to the relationship now. They know more about each other, and that's really nice. Um, I like that Kang-ho and Seok-Young are starting to kind of like, she's not relying on him, but he's willing to help her and she's
Mm-hmm.
appreciating it. And this isn't the first time he's helped her, because he helped her with her daughter and now he's helping her because she's hurt. And then I like that Kai-tek and what's her face, Gina. Um, they need this. They need that break.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I also like the fact that we are now seeing Kai-tek and Gina's relationship, because I do think that Kai-tek loves her a lot, and it's not just because she's pretty, it's because like there's other reasons why he loved her. Like, I mean, he gave up interviewing because he knew that would bother her. He
Right.
quit doing the civil exam because he knew it was it like she was sick of him trying out for it. So I mean, I like that. I definitely want to see Kang Ho's character and Suk I can say her name.
Seok-Young.
Suk Young's character being together, and I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with the insurance person. See if it's really that shady, or if we're all reading it wrong.
I don't think we're reading it wrong.
I don't think so
But that's
either.
just me. I've been wrong before, but I really don't feel like we're reading it that wrong.
Yeah. But anyways, you guys, we hope you enjoyed this discussion video, and we will see you guys next time.
Yay. We'll
Okay.
see you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like. If you would like, you can subscribe to our channel. And if you want to check out our last week's discussion video, click somewhere on the screen because it'll be somewhere up here. And we will see you guys next time. Okay, bye. Not really bye, but bye.